The Lifeguards of Southern California protect over 400 miles of coastline. And nothing impacts their day like the weather.
As lifeguards, a lot of us are amateur meteorologists.
Good weather brings a lot of excitement, a lot of action.
On these beaches, lifeguards are the first responders.
I have a 911 call of a distressed swimmer.
I like those exciting days where you don't really know what's going to happen.
Dispatch, a person injured on a vessel.
They are there to save you. They are there to lifeguard. Welcome to Long Beach, the second busiest port in the United States. Over 70 million tons of cargo pass through here each year. In addition to being a major shipping port, it's also an ideal home to thousands of pleasure boaters.
Long Beach is a unique beach town. We do have an extreme amount of boating. It's a big marina system. We have a lot of boats, a lot of boat traffic. How's the pump engine?
Pump engine runs great.
Okay.
This is Robert Hamilton, a veteran of the Long Beach Fire Department Lifeguards.
I've been a marine safety rescue boat operator for the past 6 years. I've been with the lifeguard department here for 32 years.
Today, Robert will be on patrol with partner John Burt.
Been a lifeguard here in Long Beach since 1972. It's a great job, and I'll keep doing this till my body gives out.
This team has a combined 70 years of experience as lifeguards. But for Robert, it was a very personal rescue as a teenager that led him into this line of work.
I was 15, went to the beach with my parents, and my dad got stuck in a riptide and he couldn't get out. And he was going to drown. I turned around and my mom was in the same riptide. And so I took her to shore. I remember my dad giving her a shove saying, just get her in. And I kind of threw her with the next wave onto the shore. You know, watched her get in, and at the same time I back out from my dad. And right as he went down under the water, I was just swam right there, right on top of him. It was about a 150-yard swim. Jumped down, dove down, got him, pulled him back into shore, and I knew I was going to do this forever. It's a job like any other job, going to work every day. You know, we're fortunate we get to go to work every day in shorts, and we get to drive a boat, and we get neat trucks and neat equipment, and we get to dive and swift water rescue. We get to do a lot of great things. The job it's unbelievable. It's been a great ride. The family that somebody's drowning or something's bad's happening to them, as lifeguards and lifesavers, it's kind of our best day because we get to use our equipment, we get to use all our training. You know, we feel the sympathy for the family, but for us, it's a great day. We get to talk about it, we're excited, we're pumped up, and afterwards, it takes a while to come down from that euphoric kind of high that you're on. But that's our good day. That's what we talk about on our days off.
On this busy weekend, Robert and John are part of a 5-boat crew covering the Long Beach Harbor. 3 hours into their patrol, a call comes in.
Over. We have a turned over sailboat out here by the breakwater.
Beach Ops Rescue Boat 4, we're on scene. It's a turtle Hobie. All right, here's the Hobie. You're gonna have to get wet if it's turtle. Showtime.
The owner of the sailboat tells the crew that he's uninjured, but he'll need help getting the boat flipped over.
Go ahead, Johnny. Okay, what John's doing is he's gonna try to get the sail up straight. To do that, we have to turn it into the wind. Johnny, hey.
After struggling to right the vessel, John concludes that the mast has filled with water and is too heavy for the two of them to lift.
This mast is full, so we gotta pull up slowly with this.
By wrapping a rope around the sailboat and attaching it to the rescue vessel, the lifeguards will attempt to flip the capsized catamaran. But in order for this to work, both John and the sailor must use their weight to keep the rope from slipping.
You ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
As they attempt to right the vessel, the boater shows signs of fatigue. The water is in the low 60s, and he's been in it for way too long.
Slow muscle. Get all the water out of the sails. He's using his weight. Hopefully his sails are loose.
As the boat rights, trouble sets in. The boater's overexerted himself. He's slipping into hypothermia.
Give me a buoy!
Hypothermia kicks in real quick out here in this type of water. But we're gonna go ahead and bring them back to our boat. Just a typical boat rescue is now a full-blown rescue.
Luckily for the stranded sailor, the lifeguards are there to pull him to safety before his hypothermia worsens. And while his day is over, the lifeguards are far from done.
Careful. Take your time. We want to relax, check you out a little bit, all right? Is anything hurt? Did you hit anything else? No, just cold?
Our plan would be upside down for an hour.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you gonna be able to sail that boat back?
I just was getting the water so darn long and cold.
Okay, I understand that.
Just as simple as that.
Okay. You take your time. You have as much time as you need. It's your choice. We'll take you back to the beach. We'll pull your sails and tow it back. Or you sail back. That's up to you. If you're cold, there's no worries.
If I can just warm up for a second, I'll be fine.
Beach Ops Rescue Boat 4. Guy was a little hypothermic. We've had him on board for about 5 minutes. We're gonna be following him back to Claremont. Just an overturned hobie you think is a simple call turns into he's been in the water for 45 minutes. I'm sure he'll be done for the day.
30 minutes later, another call comes in.
Rescue Boat 4 Beach Ops. We got a call, possible hazmat at shoreline.
Downtown Marina, we have a report of a hazardous material on the water, unknown substance. A rescue boat in the area will be on scene when we get there. We'll back them up and we'll see what we need to do.
En route, Robert and John focus on the radio chatter, gathering information about an apparent fuel leak.
Beach Ops Rescue Boat 3. You call Marine office and have them notify the owner at Gateway F, slip number 4. Put the crew in on turnout to open up the hatches.
Responding to the call, our lifeguards must head from the outer harbor to the largest, most densely packed marina in Long Beach. When they arrive, Rescue Boat 3 is already on scene.
What you got?
Gain entry to the vessel. Smells like gasoline.
What we found here is a boat that's full of gasoline, means his tank was probably been leaking for a long time, so it's a bomb.
Meanwhile, 90 miles down the coast in La Jolla, California, lifeguards are busy with a big weekend crowd on the shore and in the water.
Hey guys, stay out this side more. Swells are gonna push you in the rocks. Stay out here more. No jacket, I don't want you guys in there. Sorry about that, you guys. We'll make sure you guys are all right.
One of the busiest areas for the lifeguards is known as Devil's Slide, where kayakers are drawn to a series of dangerous tidal caverns.
I don't want you in the caves without them helmets on. You guys flip over in there and no helmets on, no jackets on, you're gonna get knocked unconscious and it's just too much of a risk.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, thank you.
The water around Devil's Slide is usually calm, but that calm can be deceptive.
It'll seem like it's tranquil and no waves breaking, and then a set of waves will come and they're unexpectedly knocked out of their kayak.
Today's beautiful weather has packed the beach. Large groups of boaters are headed to Devil's Slide when the lifeguards receive word of a 911 call about a kayaker in trouble.
Okay, all units, we got some red kayaks with a yellow paddle raised.
Lifeguard Dan Hodel responds to the call from La Jolla shores.
We got a call come over dispatch saying that there was a kayak in distress at Devil Slides. I grabbed the helmet and my swim fins and ran down, jumped on the back of the ski.
Tier 3, keep heading to the south. You'll see one kayak with a yellow paddle up in the air. That's your location to go to. Copy that, I got visual. In 3 Sam Lifeguard dispatch, do you want medics rolling on this due to the nature? Yes, let's have medics go to the boat launch, but we may end up redirecting them. We'll have to get a better size up on this. Copy, directing to the boat launch, La Jolla Shores.
Now, at Devil's Slide, Lifeguard Hodel identifies the victims.
As soon as we came up on scene, we knew we were at the right place because there was a girl with a pretty good abrasion on her head. Anytime you have a person who hits their head and loses consciousness in the water, possibly has a neck or back injury, yeah, it's a big call.
Meanwhile, in Long Beach, lifeguard Robert Hamilton and his team are dealing with a volatile situation.
What we found here is a boat that's full of gasoline, means his tank was probably been leaking for a long time, so it's a bomb.
vessel this size could easily contain 300 gallons of gasoline that might be ignited by any stray spark.
The possibility of this boat exploding, it's a great possibility. It's not just one boat exploding. We're in a marina. You got neighbors in close proximity. So if this boat blows up, we have a whole different set of issues. I'm going to put my deckhand John off. He's going to go onto the docks and look around and search if he can find anything.
The Lifeguards and Fire Department share a unique partnership in this city. Here, all rescue boat operators and deckhands are also trained in marine firefighting and armed with the equipment to handle hazardous and potentially explosive material.
To be honest with you, there's always a little nerves when you have your turnouts on, you're going into a confined space. You don't know what you're gonna see, you don't know if you're gonna find smoke, flame, you're gonna find fuel in the bilge. It kind of gets your adrenaline flowing a little bit.
Okay, we have 2 of our deckhands in the boat right now. What's in there?
Looks like he's been working on his port engine. A lot of stuff's disassembled. Probably the fuel lines. Putting a little product in the bilge.
Is there any fuel pocketing down below in any of the forward hatches?
More.
How much?
Enough.
With a confirmed leak, the first thing the rescue team must do is cut off all electrical power to the boat.
We turned off all the batteries, all the switches, all the breaker panels. What we're doing now is shut off the bilge pumps so we don't get a spark.
He's got shore power coming in on your left side right there.
Unplugging the boat's power at the source increases the chances of sparking. John must exercise extreme caution while handling the live wire. After a few tense moments, Robert receives good news.
The shore power is disconnected. The boat and also the dock.
So the electricity's off, so that's one less hazard we have to worry about. We're going to open the windows, open the doors, and we're going to go ahead and put a blanket of foam all along the bottom of that boat. What that does is takes away the oxygen layer, so that the chance of explosion's a lot less.
With the boat safely defused, the lifeguards tow the vessel to an isolation dock far from the crowded marina. There, the owner will be able to safely repair his fuel leak.
These guys make it look fairly easy, but anytime you're going into what's considered a bomb, it's a high-risk maneuver, and that's a situation we just resolved.
Meanwhile, 90 miles south in San Diego, lifeguards are responding to a kayak emergency at La Jolla Cove.
We're on scene with a 21-year-old female. They got washed up on the rock. She has a couple wounds on her forehead, brief loss of consciousness, and we are going to put the 2 girls on the back of the ski and transport them to the boat launch.
With waves breaking along the rocks at Devil's Slide, lifeguards have to get the victim out of harm's way before stabilizing her. With 2 lifeguards on scene and time a factor, 1 lifeguard drives while partner Dan Hodel stabilizes her neck. They're headed to the boat launch where paramedics are waiting.
We had her sitting on the seat of the ski. I sat behind her. I put my hands on her head and neck to hold her steady.
As Jet 3 approaches the boat launch, lifeguards prepare to transfer the victim from the personal watercraft onto a backboard. But given the nature of this rescue, the transfer must happen on the open water.
I think the tricky part was just getting her from on the seat of the PWC over the back of the sled and then onto the beach.
Put this on your neck right here, okay? We're just gonna support your neck. Slide down behind her, you guys. Let us do all the work. 1, 2, 3. Let your legs go. Let your legs go. There you go. Okay, I got the legs.
Procedures like this hinge on teamwork between the lifeguards. They must keep the victim's head and neck in line to avoid the risk of paralysis.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
With the victim now on the backboard, lifeguards hand her over to the paramedics.
There you good hands out.
She got rolled over by a wave onto the rocks. A kayak tipped over.
The woman is secured to the backboard, packaged and rushed to the hospital. The injuries she sustained on the rocks of Devil's Slide may be very serious. But thanks to the San Diego lifeguards, she is now in good hands. This is San Diego, California, long recognized as one of America's premier beach settings. Just north of downtown, Mission Beach, with over 2 million visitors per year, is the most crowded beach in the city.
This is one of our most populated beaches, reason being all roads lead to Mission Beach, and there's a very large parking lot right here. Traditionally, we have a lot of rip currents in this area, and there's likely to be some rescues here in the next few minutes.
Keeping all these people safe? The San Diego Lifeguards. There are 26 lifeguard towers spread along Mission Beach. Today, Sergeant Rick Strobel is supervising them all.
2 Sam, Tower 19.
Tower 19.
Just make sure you keep a good line between the swimmers and the surfers.
On crowded days like today, Strobel and the other lifeguards will work together to keep an eye on every inch of the beach. Constant communication and vigilance are key to making sure everyone goes home safely.
MJ, Tower 13, 9-year-old Monica Rivas, last seen 15 minutes ago wearing blue jeans and a red sweatshirt with poor swimming ability.
Okay, and MJ is a missing juvenile. Last seen in the water is a little bit of a concern, especially due to the fact that she has blue jeans and a t-shirt on. Poor swimming ability in an area of known rip currents. We're gonna have to follow up on this one pretty quick.
Near Tower 13, Monica's family has gathered. Monica's mother is living every parent's worst nightmare, a missing child.
Do we have the reporting party on this missing juvenile?
Hey, firm, we have Carolyn Rivas, who's the aunt at our tower, as well as a few other family members.
Monica's aunt, Carolyn Rivas, is the one who went to the lifeguard tower to report her missing.
When you lose somebody, you just feel like you're not gonna find them. So you just wanna run and scream her name, so it's very scary.
Was she in the water? Did the last person see her? No.
She wasn't in the water.
She wasn't in the water. Okay, that's better. And I know it's really traumatic, so we're gonna find her, okay? We're gonna find her. Now, if she were in the water,
right,
the current's going from the south to the north.
Right.
So she may have gone in here and then gotten pushed down the beach a little bit, and then when people come in, they're not where they went into the water and they get confused. The next thing that people will do is they'll turn away from the wind and the sun. So the wind right now is coming from out of the southwest, so she's likely headed that way. But we got lifeguards all up and down this beach, and we will find her.
Lifeguards continue to search for a girl in blue jeans and a red shirt. But 30 minutes pass without a sighting. Sergeant Strobel decides to double-check the description given to him by the distressed family.
And she was wearing blue jeans?
No, actually, my sister informed me that she was wearing, she changed into her bathing suit, which is like a Hawaiian skirt, green, with flowers on it.
Okay.
So that's what she was wearing. And she has long hair, curly, and she's light-skinned.
Sergeant Strobel quickly updates Monica's description.
The missing 9-year-old juvenile female, Monica, is wearing a green and white Hawaiian-style bathing suit. She has a light complexion with long, dark-colored hair.
Strobel's update has immediate results.
She was mid-sand, running 5 feet in front of my tower, heading northbound.
Yeah, I was on Tower 20, and I was doing my water observation, and this little girl, long brown hair, you know, fair complexion, bathing suit, green skirt, runs by my tower like 5 feet in front of me. And I thought it was odd because she was by herself.
It seems Sergeant Strobel's notion that Monica was headed north away from the wind is accurate. However, since that sighting at Tower 20, there's been no sign of Monica. After another 10 agonizing minutes, the radio crackles to life.
Tower 23, I have 9-year-old Monica here at my tower.
21 time coverage, and that was Tower 23?
Tower 23 has 9-year-old Monica.
As the lifeguards expected, Monica had traveled over a mile north with her back to the sun and wind. A lifeguard from Pacific Beach drives Monica back to Tower 13, where the family anxiously awaits her return.
She went almost a mile and a half.
Una milla para allá.
So don't worry, we're gonna bring her here. Can you see the truck?
After nearly an hour, Monica is finally reunited with her family.
We were very thankful to all the people that helped us, you know, the lifeguards and stuff. So we were very relieved.
Gracias a las personas que nos ayudaron a buscarla.
Every lost and found child was always a traumatic experience, just at different levels. And with all the lost and found children that we've had, we've never lost one. It's a team effort. You got to go with the information that you have. Although very traumatic to the lost child and to the family, it was a happy ending.
Incidents like this will unfortunately be played out many times every weekend on San Diego's beaches. But they don't have to be. Having a plan before hitting the sand can make all the difference.
When you come to the beach, expect to see lots and lots of people. Expect there to be currents that can move you along the beach. What you don't want to do is use a green umbrella as your landmark, because there's going to be hundreds of green umbrellas. Use something like a numbered tower, a business. Have a place to meet or have a landmark to come back to that's near your towel. And then tell your children, if you get lost, go to the lifeguards. The lifeguards are there to help you.
The Lifeguards of Southern California protect over 400 miles of coastline. And nothing impacts their day like the weather.
As lifeguards, a lot of us are amateur meteorologists.
Good weather brings a lot of excitement, a lot of action.
On these beaches, lifeguards are the first responders.
I have a 911 call of a distressed swimmer.
I like those exciting days where you don't really know what's going to happen.
Dispatch, a person injured on a vessel.
They are there to save you. They are there to lifeguard. Huntington Beach, California is home to some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. And the area presents a unique weather pattern.
Huntington Beach has its own set of weather characteristics. Offshore is fairly flat, but Huntington Beach does pick up waves quite well. So the waves in Huntington Beach are usually a little bit bigger than they are a little further north or further south.
Today, a large swell is hitting Huntington Beach, causing new rip currents to form and putting lifeguards on high alert.
We've had some really big surf over the last few days. For lifeguarding, these are extremely dangerous times for us because the bottom is extremely unpredictable. It's shifting, it's moving around, it hasn't settled in yet. So we're gonna see some pretty big rip currents, probably see some pretty good shore break. The ocean's gonna be extremely unpredictable today.
Ultimately, it will be a day that sees 2 swimmers go missing before the sun sets. A day that will test the Huntington Beach lifeguards.
Hey, it's Jester Zero. Just looking at this rip. It's a big rip. There's 5 people or so.
Rip currents are our main source of rescues down here. Basically, it's an outward current of water, and you can recognize it by the sandy. It's going to be brown and choppy, and that's how we notice them down here.
Big rip opened up over here, and then when I went out, another kid got sucked out in a separate rip current. There's like an inside inshore hole, sandbar, another big inshore hole, so people getting on that sandbar and then dumping back in.
Lifeguards can often spot a swimmer in trouble, even when the swimmer doesn't know it. Lifeguard Rodolfo Nieto notices a boogie boarder caught in a rip current.
Guy's really far out, and it looked like he was waving to the lifeguard here at Tower 3. It looks like he's on his bodyboard stuck in a rip current. The boat's on scene, so the boat might try to get the guy on board unless Nieto can get there in time.
Lifeguard Nieto reaches the victim and realizes he's boogie boarding without fins, which is dangerous when strong rip currents are present. To compound the situation, the victim is also resisting the rescue, but he has no idea of the peril he's in. Lifeguard Nieto finally convinces the man to take his help before he is sucked out to sea.
I was just trying to sit on my board, trying to get a good wave. But I guess the lifeguards, they said there was problems. So, he went out there, he wanted to bring me in. So we're all good. Thank you, appreciate it, man. Strong swimmer right there.
Whenever guards leave their towers in Huntington, they are backed up by both a truck and a boat.
When the guards go out, it obviously creates an opening. And so we developed the perimeter defense. And what it initially does is it makes sure that when a guard goes out and he has created a hole in that defense, we back it up and we cover it, and also the boats.
These 2 bodyboarders are at the head of a rip. They have no fins, they're sort of struggling, they're so far out.
the boat's gonna go ahead and pick them up. Our boat operator's gonna drive to an area where there's no rip current and drop them off really close to shore. Once they're on board, too, he also gives them a chance to catch their breath. We can advise them, hey, you guys are in a bad rip current, you guys don't have any fins, this is what you need to do. The deckhand's telling them right now, okay, go ahead and get ready to go. Deckhand has them stand up, jump off, there goes the first victim, and there goes the second victim. And they should be able to get in really easy here and save the trip for our tower guard having to go to the full outside break, making about a 10-minute rescue and coming in.
The large swell and high surf that hit the shores of Huntington Beach have made it a long day for lifeguards. But the day is far from over.
911, do you have an emergency?
Yeah, we're over here in front of the water tower, the giant water tower, and we lost somebody in the water.
What tower number are you by?
The tower number is 26.
The lifeguards are on the way out there right now.
7 miles due north of Huntington at Surfside Beach, a 911 call has come in regarding a 24-year-old missing swimmer. This report is extremely alarming because the lifeguards at Surfside have been off duty for over an hour, making Huntington one of the closest beaches with guards still on duty.
We got a call, it's a Code X call, it's a witness submersion. Somebody's gone down underwater and we're gonna go help in another department try to find this person.
We in Huntington City Beach, we get those calls regularly to assist other lifeguard agencies for resources that we might have available to them.
For a call of this nature, lifeguards are responding from all beaches in the area, including Marine units from Long Beach, and a search helicopter from Huntington City Police. A quick response is imperative. With a missing swimmer in these water conditions, every passing second could be the difference between life and death. As lifeguard Darren Ham and several other units from Huntington Beach race to the missing swimmer at Surfside, lifeguard Terry Sletsky and the remaining guards of Huntington Beach receive a similar call on their home turf.
It's the Huntington Beach police helicopter, and HB1 has just spotted a surfboard in the head of a rip, and they're just asking if anybody's missing.
What HB1 has spotted is actually a kiteboard. Because of the wind conditions, Huntington Beach is one of the top destinations for advanced kiteboarders. The sighting of a kiteboard without a rider is always cause for alarm, and this board is at the end of a fierce rip current.
Have you seen anybody out on the head of that rip?
No, I didn't see anybody.
This rip is a rather large rip. It's maybe out 100, 200 yards. So, you know, we're thinking, okay, if this board's out by itself and the owner's nowhere to be seen, then we potentially could have somebody missing.
Meanwhile, back up the coast at Surfside, lifeguards have gathered more information on the missing swimmer. He's a 24-year-old male who was swimming with 3 friends. When lifeguards went off duty at 6 p.m., the 4 swimmers were advised to get out of the water, but they decided to continue swimming. At 7:15, the 3 friends lost contact with the victim and called 911. Seal Beach Chief Joe Bailey is on scene coordinating rescue efforts from the shore.
We got a call for a missing swimmer. You know, when lifeguards get that call, we're never quite sure what it is. It's a confirmed missing swimmer because the swimmer had friends that were here. They were in the ocean and they came in and the other swimmer didn't. The first thing you want to do, you set a point last seen buoy and then you start a search from that point. You know, we have a strong current out there. We had the person was last seen in a strong rip current. And so our current today with the pretty good surf is moving fast. So we're covering all the way down to the rocks on this beach, Surfside.
Huntington Beach lifeguards, including Darren Ham, arrive on scene at 7:40 p.m.
They called us in for extra resources, extra people to look, and basically we conducted line searches.
In a line search, lifeguards line up shoulder to shoulder and search the area in shifts from the point last seen buoy, moving in the direction of the current. They will then double back and search the area in a grid-like pattern.
You never know if the swimmer's on the bottom, just underneath the surface. So what the swimmers do is they dive down in a line, they try and kick in the same speed, and they come up at the same spot and do that over and over again. So, you know, these lifeguards are in great shape and they're well-versed and trained in how to do this swimming, this rescue, this searching, and so that's what they're doing. Swimming down, swimming along the bottom, coming up, backing up a little bit to make sure they cover the whole ocean floor.
Darren Ham has just finished his 3rd shift in the water.
Basically, when a person goes down, they're full of water. They've basically inhaled water, so they're not floating anymore. So what we're doing is we're on the bottom basically, and since visibility is limited, we're kind of feeling.
We're still searching. Lifeguards generally work under what we call the golden hour rule. So we're going to search and assume the victim's alive for an hour, and we're going to keep searching tonight until the sun goes down.
Back in Huntington Beach, lifeguard Terry Slutsky is continuing a search for a missing kiteboarder.
Do you have a visual on the surfboard?
All lifeguards direct their attention to the waves. Things happen quickly in the water. If the kiteboarder has gone under, lifeguards won't have much time. After several minutes, HB1 spots a possible owner.
Maybe you guys could try to make contact with the green and black kite between tower 10 and 12. It might be his board. He's kind of looking off out there.
So I'm going to see if someone lost their board.
As the helicopter begins searching for a victim at sea, lifeguard Slutsky hopes to find the owner safe on land.
When you get on scene with the kite surfer, I think it's his because he's looking in that area and he doesn't have wood with him asking if it's white and the skags were colored.
Hey, is your board white?
Yeah.
HB1 from 5220. The kiteboarder that's 97 with me, he's the owner of the board.
With the missing surfer found safely on shore, lifeguards can now focus on rescuing just his board.
It's stuck at the end of the rip about 100+ yards offshore. Just sitting there, not going anywhere.
What happened, HB1 flew over. They saw the board, and they were like, hey, are we missing anybody? Because the board's sitting out there at the head of the rip.
Wow. I hit a wave on the way out, caught a little air wrong, kicked my board off. You know, just got pummeled by a few waves following. Usually the waves push it in. It's a drag to be sitting out here on the beach, boardless.
How far is it out there? I don't know. Let me get an exact location for you. 0 from 20. Can you give me an exact 20 of the board?
Looks like right off of your 20, if not closer to tower 12.
10-4. You just got it.
That's awesome.
In Huntington Beach, a missing kiteboarder is something the guards never take lightly. But today, there's a happy ending.
Thanks, Doug! I could imagine if you had to swim out there and try to find it, because we had a hard time.
Yeah, you can't see it very well.
Yeah, it's really difficult. Even from 0, they had a hard time.
One happy taxpayer. Thank you very much.
Yeah, don't worry.
I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
What was your name?
Terry.
Terry. See you around the beach, huh?
Yeah.
Thanks, Terry.
All right.
Back in Surfside, the search for the missing swimmer has gone on for over an hour and 25 minutes. And unfortunately, lifeguards have determined that the time of survival has passed. This rescue has become a recovery.
At some point, it becomes more of it's a body recovery. You know, after a certain amount of time, the chances of survival are pretty much eliminated. We're pretty much at a point of doing body recovery, and now it's getting to the point where it's getting dark, increasing swell. It's kind of not very safe to continue the search.
After searching into the night and exhausting their resources, the lifeguards find no sign of the missing swimmer.
At some point, you got to be able to let go of it and just, you operate on a professional level, and at some point you just let go of it and you go home, maybe give your family an extra hug or two, tell them you love them an extra couple times.
More than 2 weeks later, the 24-year-old's body is recovered.
The victim recovery actually took place 15 days after the initial drowning. The body was found about 3/4 of a mile away at the end of one of the jetties, which is at a harbor entrance for Huntington Harbor. And then the body's passed on to the coroner, and they completed their investigation.
In Del Mar, California, the summer's warm weather is keeping droves of beachgoers on the sand and in the surf. And nobody has their eyes on the beach quite like Del Mar lifeguard chief, Pat Verne.
My job here in Del Mar is all weather conducive. So if the sun's out, the water's warm, the place is packed. It's wall-to-wall people, and obviously that brings in more action, more things to worry about, more things to react to.
Station 3, 3D1, stop order, code 4 surface, 1 swimmer.
10-4.
I've been here in Del Mar for 30 years, started as a student lifeguard and then kind of worked my way up the ranks. I was actually in high school here playing water polo, and the lifeguard captain at the time came to our water polo games and would try to recruit us for a summer job. And the idea of working on the beach certainly appealed to me, and it's been great ever since.
Even with long summer days and big beach crowds, Pat and his lifeguards know that when the summer's over and water conditions change for the worse, they'll need to be prepared to use more advanced tools for their rescues. Helicopters. The lifeguards, fire department, and Coast Guard all use helicopters to aid in water rescues. In this dramatic footage, a Coast Guard paramedic is lowered into dangerous surf to help 2 victims whose boat had capsized in a winter storm.
During the winter time, when we have very large surf, it's going to take us a little while to get the lifeguard to a potential victim, whether it be by boat or swimming out. We use the helicopters to deploy the lifeguard to the victim to at least get to a situation where we can stabilize the victim until further help arrives.
Today, the Del Mar lifeguards will be flying high in conjunction with the San Diego Sheriff's Department.
The ship is going to be turning, so be aware of that. Do not walk anywhere past this part of the aircraft right here, okay? You got the tail rotor back there. That's definitely at, chest to head height. That will kill you if you get hit by it. And then you got the exhaust coming out of the stack right here. It's very hot. It'll give you like a 3rd-degree burn. Now, for whoever is on the pilot side of the aircraft, be aware that there's a collective right here, all right? This collective is what makes the aircraft go up and down. Do not put your hand on this collective, all right? We'll lift off, we'll fly you out, past the surf zone. All you gotta do is you just gotta step off together. Just step right off the skid, and then do your thing that you do as lifeguards when you hit the water.
And we want to be in a position when we actually need to do a rescue using the helicopter that we've been trained. We don't have to sit around, go through briefings. The helicopter lands, the lifeguards get onto the side of the skids, and then they take off.
The very first time I was really scared. It's just it was so foreign, and holding on to the outside of a helicopter. You're not strapped in at all, but once you did it once, you just want to keep doing it.
So awesome, man. That was good fun, wasn't it?
For now, the conditions are calm. But a rescue during a winter storm would involve extremely volatile waters and a dangerous environment. So the guards must perfect their technique during today's training.
Once the lifeguard's been deployed to the victim and stabilizes the victim, the way we're going to get him back to shore is using one of our rescue boats. So it's a critical component.
No one knows whether the coming winter will produce large storm swells in Del Mar. But with today's training, the lifeguards will be prepared to handle the worst.
So awesome. Loved it.
Having the best trained lifeguards is probably the most important thing of my whole job. You have to have the best trained, you have to have good people, good motivation, and I think I definitely have accomplished that in Del Mar.
San Diego's Ocean Beach is one of the most popular spots to cool off when the weather's warm, and today is no exception.
Here in Ocean Beach, it's mid-70s. The air is clear, the sun is shining, it's a beautiful day, and it's hotter on the inland, so we're expecting good crowds and a fun day.
With weather like this, thousands of cars are expected to make the journey to the beach, which makes beachfront parking a hot commodity.
Lifeguard dispatch, receiving a 911 call, Ocean Beach. Sounds like it's a vehicle versus a woman.
Copy that.
We received a 911 call of an unknown medical aid.
The woman's claiming she was hit by a vehicle trying to take a parking space. She's sitting on top of her cooler.
Sergeant Harris and lifeguard Lonnie Stevens arrive expecting the worst.
You're still sitting in the same place? I am? You're still sitting in the same damn place. Have another drink. My name's James.
I haven't had one drink.
What do you want in the Department of Motor Vehicle?
Basically, it wasn't a medical aid. It was a dispute between a parking spot over a parking spot.
Do you have any medical condition?
I have asthma, bad.
Okay, ma'am. We need paramedics. I'd like to keep you on the beach.
Is there anything that we need to do for you medically?
Okay. All right.
She basically stated that she was saving a parking spot, and a gentleman in a car tried to come in, and according to her story, was to take the spot from her, and then he kept pushing forward until she either fell or was run over by the car.
This particular individual had a cooler full of, personal items, and she refused to move them, so I ran the over and parked my car in the parking spot. She claimed injury, so I called 911 in case she was injured. I'm just like, yeah, you're just laying there trying to look injured so that I look bad. Let's call a spade a spade. Then her husband showed up.
How did all this stuff get like that?
Picked it out from under
That's what I'm saying. What person would do this?
We picked it out from under us.
We're not going to get into it right now, guys.
The 911 call has triggered a response from paramedics and police.
We call 911, everybody just comes.
I had taken a cooler how hard does it sit on?
Ran me over. I was sitting right there.
In this case, it wasn't a medical aid. We ascertained that fairly early, so we were able to separate the individuals.
Write down her name, some witness information.
When police arrived, they delved down more into who's at fault and what needs to happen to resolve the situation.
In the end, both parties were in the wrong. In San Diego, it's illegal to hold a public parking spot while someone else is waiting. It's also illegal to run over someone's personal property. If this had been a football game, the referees would have called offsetting penalties and replayed the down. Both parties were warned and advised to have a good day at the beach.
Have a good day.